for the Penguins with it. Ron Buskus drives it down the right side. Penguins now without the power play. Kings are back at full strength. McSorley steps out. Here's Buskus down in the corner, Kings zone. Stepping in front of him is Crossman. Crossman's pass broken up left side. Penguins with it. Kings zone. Pass in deep behind the net. Didn't connect. Comes around on the right side. Pittsburgh still with it. Buskus right point shooting. Knocked it down in front by Dale DeGray. Kings moving to center. Kruzhelnicki to Gretzky. Gretzky the red line. Ahead now and across the line. Tip back to him. Gretzky left side to Crossman. He shoots and off the glove of Barrasso. Shot was going wide to the left. Penguins with it as they start to move it back out. Now here's McElwain to center. He moves it ahead to Phil Bourque. Bourque across the line. Right side. Kings zone. Bourque driving. Centering it right through the crease. Then he got it on his stick again on the left wing side. But it comes off his stick and is taken away by Marty McSorley. McSorley for the Kings. He moves it up to center ice now as the Kings' Mike Kruzhelnicki brings it across the line. Goes to the right side. Wrapped up by Randy Hilliard. Puck taken by the Penguins. 1-0 Kings. 11:45 to go. First period. Penguins with it. Jay Caulfield sends it into the Kings zone. Bob Airy chases it down, but Kelly Hrudey out and broken away. Picked up by John Cullen. His pass broken up by the Kings. Back they come to center. On the right wing, Dave Taylor. Out in front of him, then tipped away. Gretzky with it, but his pass stolen now by the Penguins. Jay Caulfield. Caulfield shooting from the left side, wide to the left. Rebound left wing side. Kings with it. Kruzhelnicki clears it out to center. Taken away by Randy Hilliard for Pittsburgh. Hilliard's pass knocked down. Loose puck hits center ice. Taken by Kruzhelnicki. Up ahead on the right side to Nicholls. Nicholls in the Penguin zone. His shot save made by Barrasso. Barrasso moves it quickly back up to center. Penguins with it. Across the line, Dave Hannon. Hannon cuts to the right side. Hannon for Pittsburgh in the Kings zone. Moves it up the middle to Hilliard. His shot saved by Hrudey. Front save and he hangs on. Dean Kennedy and John Cullen get their sticks up. And then Kennedy is moved out of the way, and Dave Taylor comes over, and Cullen gets his stick up on Taylor, too.
Yeah, that would have been a mismatch, Kennedy and Cullen. Kennedy a bit stronger and heavier. 1-0 Kings, and we'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Hello. Got the shot, and it looked like Kelly Hrudey had knocked it down, but it was tipped up into the net. And in front was Callender, and the game is tied at 1-1.
Beautiful move by Mario Lemieux, picking up that puck to the right of the net, right at the goal line. Some fancy stick work to get open. Fanned on it, and it came right to Jock Callender, who put it in up under the crossbar. So Jock Callender, a young right winger who spent the last 4 years with Muskegon in the International Hockey League, ties it up after a great play by Lemieux.
Now Lemieux across the King line, but he fell down, and the loose puck comes against the right wing boards. Penguins hold it in. Callender checked into the boards and down to the ice by Tonelli, and then a shot is wide to the right. And the shot by Hilliard was wide to the right and held against the boards. Game tied at 1. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
You know,
Waters breaks it up to Nicholls, and he clears it out to center ice. Nicholls and Gretzky up front to kill the penalty. Waters and Laidlaw back defensively. Mario Lemieux standing at the King blue line. The pass comes to the King line, but Laidlaw intercepts. He tried to give it to Gretzky. Gretzky tried to stay outside, but the puck out of his reach. Penguins with it. Here's Dan Quinn. Quinn sends it off the left wing boards out of the reach of Lemieux. Puck is back behind the King net. Waters with it there. His pass knocked down by Rob Brown. Brown over Lemieux. Lemieux checked by Gretzky. Now Lemieux to Coffey. Right side to Brown. He didn't get it. Brown into the right wing corner. Gives it to Quinn. Behind the net to Lemieux. Up the middle of Coffey. Shooting save Hrudey. Rebound Laidlaw with it. He gives it up to Gretzky. Here's Gretzky with Nicholls. Gretzky across the line by Nicholls. Penalty on Bernie Nicholls. He knocked Phil Bourque of Pittsburgh down at the blue line. And Bill McCrary calls the penalty against the Kings. The game is tied at 1. This game is coming to you live from the Great Western Forum.
Kings Hockey is brought to you by your Southern California Mitsubishi Motors dealers. Test drive all their new trucks and cars, including the 1989 Galant, Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year. And by Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
So now the Kings are 2 men down for a minute 4. Bernie Nicholls in the box for interfering with Phil Bourque at 11:46. Nicholls and Gretzky were both on the left wing side. Gretzky had the puck, was carrying it through center, and then Nicholls decided to cut to the far side across the blue line. And he ran into Phil Bourque, took him out of the play. Gene Ubriaco, first-year head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it looks like it's going to be a successful one for Ubriaco in that the Penguins will be in the postseason play.
They haven't been there since 1982. 7 years since the Penguins have been in the playoffs, and Gene Ubriaco's got them headed for a playoff this season. Game tied at 1 now. Kings down by 2 for a minute 4. Puck is sent by Phil Bourque behind the King net. Dean Kennedy with it. Can't clear it out. Held in by Mario Lemieux. Lemieux checked Kennedy over to help out. Kennedy with it. Then it is cleared. Steve Kasper and Kennedy working hard to clear it back into the Penguin zone. Penguins with a 2-man advantage for 34 more seconds. Up to center ice. Penguins with it now. Here's Coffey across the line to Lemieux. Lemieux sends it around to Rob Brown. Brown on the right wing side. He is checked there. He gets it back to the right point to Bill Bourque. Bourque leaves it for Paul Coffey over to Lemieux with room left side. Lemieux to Coffey. Coffey double slide. He shoots. Tipped in front. Loose puck. Picked up now as Duchesne tipped it, but held in by Bourque. Duchesne takes it away, and he clears it. 7 seconds to go in the 2-man advantage for the Penguins. Penguins come to center now. Here's Coffey, great skater, gets it to Brown. Brown's pass broken up by Gretzky, but in deep now, centering pass broken up by Laidlaw. Ahead and out of the penalty box is Tonelli. 2-on-1 with Waters. Tonelli to Waters. Waters couldn't get it on the left side. Now Waters sends it back in behind the Penguin net and around the left side. They just couldn't connect on the 2-on-1. It's a 1-man advantage for Pittsburgh, but Waters takes it away. Waters at center, backhands it into the Penguin zone. 30 seconds left to go, and the King penalty to Bernie Nicholls. Game tied 1-1. Penguins lose it. Here's Gretzky. Penguin zone, right side. Gretzky still with it. Gretzky checked on the right side. The puck comes out to center, but the Kings have it. Here's Laidlaw to Waters. Waters to Gretzky with Duguay. Gretzky cutting in behind the net. Check there. Puck is taken by Ron Duguay to Gretzky. Gretzky, Penguin zone. Gretzky tried to roll it in front, tipped away. Gretzky gets knocked down. Lemieux was there. Penguins come out with it. Kings are back at full strength right now. On the right side, John Cullen into the King zone. Cullen sends it in deep, taken away by Laidlaw. Great penalty coming by the Kings, and here they come to center. Here's Gretzky. He's checked by Zalapsky and an offside call. 1-1 the score. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
I'll get it.
In the Penguin zone. Here's Kruzhelnitsky for the Kings. Trying to send it behind the net to Gretzky. It's broken up, though, and will be brought out to center ice now by Dineen. Off of the left side. Penguins with it. Back to Gord Dineen. Dineen, left circle into John Cullen. Cullen tied up by Duchesne. Puck is taken by the Kings. Dean Kennedy. Kennedy up quickly to center to Allison to Gretzky to Allison. Penguin zone. Allison pulls up. Gets it right side. Penalty coming up against Pittsburgh. Here's Gretzky, left side. Gretzky's pass broken up, and the Kings are going to go on the power play now, tripping the call against the Penguins. 1-1 the score. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
From under him. Before that, Wayne Gretzky walked out from the corner using, again, a line mate as a screen. This time Allison, and Barrasso somehow made the save through that traffic.
Kings with Kasper at center. On the right side is Robitaille. Left side is Taylor. And back of the left point, Crossman. Right point, Igor Liba. Here's Liba for the Kings. Kings on the power play. Liba's pass broken up. Here's a break for Lemieux. Down the middle, and drawn alone. He shoots. He hit the side of the net. Lemieux went to his backhand to the left side, got knocked down, and a penalty against the Kings. So a penalty shot going to come up here. Boy, I'll tell you, I've seen some here lately that weren't called for penalty shots that should have been, and here's one tonight, and we're going to see Mario Lemieux take a penalty shot that could give the Penguins the lead.
Well, it all began when Igor Liba put a soft shot right in front at center ice. Lemieux is being hooked from behind. He got the shot away, and it looked like Hrudey got a stick on it to steer it to the side, a second angle. Lemieux walking right down the middle, being hooked, takes the backhand, and a penalty shot is awarded.
I'll tell you, Nick, I've seen guys not get a shot and not have the penalty shot called. I thought he got a shot that time. The fans are upset over this, and I'm sure the Kings are. Well, here's something you don't see all the time. Mario Lemieux taking a penalty shot. It'll be Lemieux against Kelly Hrudey. The capacity crowd rising to their feet. Everyone standing. The puck is at center ice. Lemieux moves from left to right on Hrudey. Lemieux looking. They're checking to see if Hrudey is ready. Kelly Hrudey's ready. Here we go. Mario Lemieux, one-on-one on Hrudey. Lemieux down the middle. Lemieux shoots, score! Mario Lemieux on a penalty shot beats Kelly Hrudey down low, and the Penguins lead 2-1.
He knew exactly what he wanted to do for his 66th goal of the season. He had 70 last year, a penalty shot goal for Mario Lemieux. He picks up the puck at center. Hrudey started coming out about 10 feet, then he backed in. Lemieux holds on, and just as Hrudey goes down, spreads the legs, Lemieux puts it right between the pads for the penalty shot goal. Lemieux holding, then Hrudey made his move, then Lemieux reacted.
Kings with a power play and down 2-1. Puck taken now by the Kings of their own blue line, and back to help out is Allison. He gets it back into Nicholls. Leba's pass to Lemieux is what got the Kings in trouble as Lemieux had a breakaway. Leba pulled him down. Lemieux seemingly got a shot, but still Bill McCurry, the referee, called the penalty shot, and now the puck is cleared up on a play by Barrasso, the goaltender, and that's a delay of game penalty. And the Kings are going to have a two-man advantage.
Tom Barrasso, like Ron Hextall and a lot of the young goaltenders these days, love to handle that puck. They're very strong. They're big goaltenders, the two we just mentioned. And Barrasso just wristed it. I thought it was going to go off the glass, but the glass ends at the blue line, and then you've got the Penguins bench, and the linesman right now is explaining to him, no, didn't hit the glass, you put it right on your own bench.
Lemieux's penalty shot is a shorthanded goal. The Kings had the power play at the time the penalty shot was called, so Lemieux gets his 66th shorthanded, and now the Kings with a two-man advantage. Barrasso, little upset perhaps over the call. I think the Penguins are pointing out, hey, the glass ends. It didn't go over the glass, it went to the side of the glass, not over. But he shot it out of play without the puck being deflected, and that's what the referee called. Face-off will be to the right of Barrasso. The Kings with a great chance not only to tie the score, but regain the lead. They have a two-man advantage for 1:17. Well, the two greatest players in the game, Nick, and we've seen a penalty shot, power play goal, short-handed goal, two-man advantages so far, and we've still got 3:51 to go in the first period.
Well, you're looking at the top two offensive teams in the National Hockey League, and you knew both teams would get plenty of scoring opportunities, and they just threw the penalty shot in for good measure.
Yeah, like these teams need that.
Yeah, exactly. Krushelnyski, Nicholls, Allison, Gretzky, and Duchesne. The five Kings out. Airy in the penalty box to serve the minor to goaltender Barrasso.
2-1 Pittsburgh, 3:51 to go here in the first period. Kings with a two-man advantage, win the draw. Gretzky, left point, right side, shot by Duchesne is wide and off the glass for boards, and out to center ice and chased down by Nicholls and Gretzky. Here's Gretzky, passed it away from Lemieux. Kings come up to center ice. Mario Lemieux on, killing the penalty for the Penguins. Here is Nicholls. Nicholls has the King goal tonight. He drives it back into the back of the Penguin net, and it gets caught in the back of the netting behind the net, and the whistle blows. 57 seconds left in the two-man advantage.
Robbie Ftorek, Ryan Maxwell behind the Kings bench. Robbie with one of his many sweaters. I'm sure a bit upset over the fact the Kings had the power play to start this sequence a few minutes ago and just gave it away in the middle to, of all people, Mario Lemieux. Bernie Nicholls out on the power play, as you would expect. Bernie with the only Kings goal, a club-tying 59th of the season, and he'll be our guest between periods 1 and 2 live downstairs.
Now the Kings with it back of their own blue line. 53 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Kings moving right to left. Duchesne's pass, a two-line pass against the Kings.
Paul Coffey, Mario Lemieux, and Randy Hillier, the trio of Penguins out. Paul Coffey, of course, familiar with Wayne Gretzky and what he can do. The two of them shared 3 Stanley Cups in Edmonton. Coffey there in 84, 85, and 87. Now the third all-time goal-scoring defenseman in league history. 6th in NHL scoring this season overall, a 2-time Norris Trophy winner. His best season in 86 when he had 138 points. Defenseman Paul Coffey.
Now the Kings with it, still with a two-man advantage. Here is Duchesne across the line, clips it into the Penguin zone, but it's broken up by Paul Coffey and back into the King zone. The Penguins just stood abreast, 3 abreast of the blue line, and broke that play up. 33 seconds to go in the two-man advantage for the Kings. Here's Nicholls across the Penguin line, right wing. Nicholls pass up the middle. Duchesne in deep now. Krushelnyski back to Duchesne. Duchesne to the blue line. Over to Nicholls, left side. Nicholls to Duchesne in the slot. Duchesne to Gretzky. Gretzky goes behind the Penguin net. Comes around the left side. His pass to Duchesne. In deep, he shoots. Knocked down in front and cleared by Pittsburgh. 10 seconds left to go in the two-man advantage. Hrudey of the Kings all the way to the King blue line to Gretzky. Now over to Nicholls. Across the line to Gretzky in the slot. Gretzky to Nicholls. He shoots wide. Rebound off the boards will be taken by Mario Lemieux. Penguins get a man out of the penalty box. It's Gord Dineen. Back to Lemieux. King zone. Lemieux tried to pull it in to Dineen and a save by Hrudey. What a play by Lemieux as he stick-handled and then while falling down got it to Dineen. But Hrudey made the save. Now Gretzky to Nicholls. Nicholls took in deep and he pulled it around Dineen but then couldn't get another pass. It was poked away and the Penguins clear it to center. 18 seconds to go on the power play for the Kings. Penguins break it up. Clear it again back into the King zone. 2-1 Pittsburgh. 2 minutes to go. We're in the first period. And now the Kings have it. Here's Dave Taylor into the Penguin zone. Taylor's pass deflected in the slot. Picked up now by the Penguins. They're going to be back at full strength right now. They killed the two-man advantage and down the right wing. Here's Hannon. Hannon moving in. His pass in front to Erie. Tipped away by Robitaille. Robitaille reached out and tipped it away. Erie stepped out of the penalty box and the Penguins tried to pass from the right side to the left side to Erie, but Robitaille broke it up. Now back comes Crossman for the Kings, cutting in front, his shot tipped away by the goaltender Barrasso, up in the air, then Crossman knocked it behind the net to Robitaille, to Gretzky, up the middle to Crossman, shooting save, Barrasso without a stick. Barrasso doesn't have a stick, he pushes Taylor into the crossbar, puck comes all the way back behind the King net, touched up by Waters and icing called against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and now Taylor has some words with Troy Loney over in front of the Penguin bench. Taylor was trying to hamper Barrasso, the Penguin goaltender, who had had the stick knocked out of his hand, and the Penguins got upset about that. Both teams are at full strength with 1:13 to go here in the first period. What a period it's been as the Penguins moved in. Lemieux, while falling and losing his balance, managed to get it to Dineen right in front, and Hrudey diving to his left had the puck hit him in the chest and he knocked it down. Lemieux showing there his strength and his reach to set up that attempt. Then Gretzky at the other end sent it up the middle. McElwain going for it, taken away by Crossman. His shot, pad saved by Barrasso, who had lost his stick, and the Kings couldn't get it again to get a good shot at Barrasso. The Penguins ice the puck, so the face-off is to the right of Tom Barrasso in the Pittsburgh zone. 1:13 to go here in a wild first period at the Great Western Forum, and the Penguins lead it 2-1. Kings have Casper out to take the face-off, and it'll be to the right of Tom Barrasso. Casper, Tonelli, and McSorley up front for the Kings right now. Waters and Laidlaw back at the point. And on the draw, back to Waters, left point, he shoots, glove save Barrasso. He saw it all the way and he hangs on. 1:09 remaining. First period, 2-1 Penguins. The lead goal coming on the penalty shot by Mario Lemieux, a short-handed goal. Tim Waters set up at the left point now as the face-off remains in the Penguin zone. Dave Hannon moves in to take the draw for the Penguins against Steve Casper of the Kings. Hannon kicks it along the boards, and over to get it is Paul Coffey. Coffey drives to the left point, held in by Waters, then his pass is knocked down and up out of play into the Penguin bench. 1:01 left to go in the first period. Faceoff will move outside the Penguin blue line now. Penguin's going to change up. Mario Lemieux's second penalty shot of the season. Scored on the other one. It came against Chris Terrari of New Jersey. Robbie Ftorek of the Kings, 57 wins, 52 losses, and 10 ties in his career record with the Kings. This is his second year, but first full season as the Kings coach. Face-off outside the blue line of the Penguins. Lemieux facing off against Mike Allison. Lemieux draws it back into the Penguin zone. 57 seconds to go in the first period. Penguins lead it 2-1. Puck comes down the right side. Waters back to get it in the King zone. Over to Laidlaw. Now to center ice. Here's Krushelnyski. Drives it in. Barrasso knocks it down with a glove. Then feeds it up on the right side. Here is Troy Loney for Pittsburgh. Over to Mario Lemieux. Left side. King zone. Lemieux in deep. He had Erie in front alone, but apparently didn't see him. Oh, Erie was all alone. Kings with it. Here's Allison to Gretzky. Penalty against the Penguins coming up. Gretzky with it. He shoots line to the right side. Penalty against the Penguins coming up, and the whistle blows. Randy Hillier of Pittsburgh is down at center ice, so they waited for the Kings to get a shot, and then due to the injury to Hillier, blew the whistle. Hillier being tended to now. He's still on his knees out at center ice. Boy, moments ago, if Lemieux had looked in front of the net, Erie was all alone. So the Kings got control of the puck, and down to the lower right of the screen, Erie got hit and knocked down at center ice by Allison. Allison's stick was up high, but the penalty is to Pittsburgh for interference. And Randy Hillier still taking his time out at center ice, and then heads over to the penalty box. Blinking his eyes, trying to get the cobwebs out. He took a pretty good crack. Looks like a high stick by Allison, but he got away with it. Allison's stick right up on the left side of Hillier's face, but they didn't call that. They called the penalty against Pittsburgh. Randy Hillier for interference. He got his face in the way of Allison's stick. This season, in case you're wondering, in the NHL, 21 penalty shots. 7 have been made. So 1/3 of the penalty shots are made. 2 of those 7 were made by Mario Lemieux. Face off to the left of the goaltender Barrasso. Kings trying to tie it up. Here's Gretzky, right side. 23 seconds in front to Allison. His shot wide. Gretzky rolled it in front again. Barrasso broke it up. Now Nicholls with it, right side. Nicholls along the boards. Nicholls pass in deep to Gretzky behind the Penguin net. Gretzky with it. 10 seconds to go in the period. Pass up the middle. Deflects off of Allison's skate. Allison knocked down behind the net. Gretzky with it. He gets it around the left side. 4 seconds to go in the period. Crossman to Allison. Up the middle to Gretzky. He shoots. Saved by Barrasso at the buzzer. The Kings moved it around quickly and got it to Gretzky on the right side, but Barrasso got over in time as the buzzer sounds, ending the first period, but that was close. Kings almost tied it. Allison up the middle, and then the pass over on the right side to Gretzky, and he just tried to reach around as he got it from Krushelnyski, but Barrasso knocked it away, and time ran out. So we're at the end of the first period. Scoring in the period, Bernie Nicholls for the Kings got his 59th of the year. A power play goal from Gretzky and Duchesne at 3:31. Then the Penguins got the next 2. Jock Callender with his 5th from Mario Lemieux at 10:30. And then Mario Lemieux, his 66th of the year, shorthanded on a penalty shot, unassisted.
Nicholls dishes it off, heads for the front. 3 Penguins going towards the puck carrier, Taylor. They forgot about Robitaille, and Luke just redirects the centering pass for his 42nd of the season. Nicholls looking to his left, dishing off to Taylor, and then Taylor with a beautiful feed through a couple sets of legs in off Barrasso for the power play goal at 1:22. So the Kings with 2 power play goals here tonight. Taylor and Nicholls with the assist.
Now the Penguins, of course, back at full strength. Puck comes into the Penguin zone. Beautiful pass by Dave Taylor. Now on the left wing side, John Tonelli. Tonelli bumped to the corner into the boards, and the puck is taken by the Penguins. Hillier, but then taken away by Tonelli, and he gets checked behind the net and gets knocked down. The puck comes out to center ice. Taken by Waters. Here's Waters back at the King line. Now flips it high in the air. We got a penalty coming up here.
Yeah, we got McSorley and Erie pushing and shoving right in front of the Kings bench, and they'll probably both go. 2-2. We'll be back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Snake River, Wyoming.
Oilers right now lead by 3 points over the Kings. Calgary defeats Winnipeg 5-3. That's in the third period. That's still going on. A final, Toronto 6 and Quebec 4. Other games, a final, Boston 2 and the Islanders 1. Minnesota over Detroit 5-3. In St. Louis bests New Jersey by a score of 6-2. Marty McSorley goes to the penalty box for roughing at 1:53. And as we cut away, I looked up and it looked like McSorley was dashing across the ice to try and get at Mario Lemieux of all people.
That's what I thought too. I looked down for a second, and then Lemieux ducked out in center ice, and McSorley went skating by him. But the Penguins have the power play now early here in the second period. The Kings have tied it up on Luc Robitaille's 42nd of the year. McSorley for roughing at 1:53.
Well, maybe Marty feels that Lemieux is on his game, and maybe he can try and have him think of something else when he's out there.
Now the Penguins moving right to left. Have it. Here's Paul Coffey up ahead to center ice. His pass taken down the left side by Jack Callender. He gives it now to Lemieux. Right side. Shot by Brown is wide as he shot off the pass. Here's Lemieux with it again. Lemieux on the left side. Up the middle of the blue line. Poked down to center ice away from Paul Coffey. His former teammate and still current buddy, Wayne Gretzky, poked it away. Now Lemieux across the line. Checked along the boards by Waters. Puck taken by Callender to Lemieux. Left side. Up the middle. Taken by Zalapski. He shoots. Save Hrudey. Rebound cleared to center by Tom Laidlaw. Penguins back together with 1:20 left to go in the power play. Here is Rob Brown across the line, tipped away. Nicholls goes for it. He didn't hang on to it. Taken away by Jack Callender. Jack Callender now up on the right side, driven around the Kings zone and picked up by Bernie Nicholls. Here's Nicholls chased by Lemieux, but Nicholls drops it off, and a backhand pass is knocked down by Coffey at the left point as Waters failed to clear it. Now behind the net to Lemieux. Lemieux tried to give it to Callender, tipped away from him. Kings with it. Gretzky on the backhand, didn't clear it. Held in by Zalapski. In front to Lemieux, he shoots, and it's deflected up over the glass as Hrudey came out to get a stick on it, and it deflected out of play.
Well, Lemieux down low as the flow is coming out towards center ice. The Kings thinking they had cleared it out, but it was again kept in by the Penguins at the blue line, and they dished it off to the base of the left circle, and Mario Lemieux tried to one-time it, and Hrudey got a piece of it, deflected it out of play. So Mario Lemieux, every shift, he's been dangerous, as have Wayne Gretzky tonight. Lemieux with a goal and an assist, Gretzky with 1 assist. Power play for the Penguins. They were the first team in NHL history to get 100+ power play goals in 2 straight seasons. Last year they had 110.
Now the Kings send it down into the Penguin zone. 40 seconds up to go, and the big penalty behind the net. Ron Duguay knocks Paul Coffey down. Then he takes a run over on the far side. Here is Kennedy in the Penguin zone. Now Duguay checked into the boards, and Coffey back up. He tried to draw the penalty by staying down a little while. Puck comes up to center ice, and Dean Kennedy slaps it back to center. Taken away by Mario Lemieux. Lemieux up the middle, shot by Coffey, saved by Hrudey. Rebound in front, loose puck. Duguay covers it up right in the slot. Then Hrudey dives out to cover it. Duguay didn't know what to do, so he covered the puck about 8 feet out in front of the net. And then it came loose, and the King goaltender Kelly Hrudey fell on it for the whistle.
Good aggressive penalty killing by Ron Duguay. One-timing it, Paul Coffey, and then we get all the excitement in front. Everybody trying to work it free. The Kings are there, and then Duguay finally goes down to his knees and covers up, lowers his chin, and just kind of gloves it towards Hrudey, the goaltender. And Ron Duguay, skating off, gets a good hand. He got in the zone and did some good forechecking. Coffey thought he had pulled him down, but Duguay and the Kings, aggressive penalty killing. We're tied up at 2, early second period. 10 seconds left on the penalty to McSorley.
And on the draw, Penguins, Paul Coffey, left side, formerly with the Oilers. He gives it down to Lemieux. His pass across the ice off on the right side to Phil Bourque. Bourque sends it down and deep to Rob Brown. Brown behind the net, left side to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux up the middle. Coffey shanked it way wide to the right. Kings are back at full strength. Here's Rob Brown to Lemieux, left side. His pass, right side. Shot from there, deflected off the glass, right up the middle. Lemieux with it. His pass, right side, and Quinn shot knocked down. Up to the blue line, but out of the reach of Gretzky. Held in by Lemieux to Rob Brown. Brown right side to Quinn. Deflected it off his skate. Save made. And Quinn with it again. Up the middle. Kings have a 3-on-2. Here's Gretzky to center ice. Gretzky with Nicholls and with McSorley. Gretzky in front. Stops to Nicholls. And his shot deflected up over the net as Barrasso went diving back to his right. Nicholls in the right wing corner. Nicholls sends it behind the net. Taken away from Gretzky. Bourque with it. Now Gretzky to Nicholls. Nicholls right side. Now behind the net. Left side to McSorley. In deep. Can't get a shot. Taken away. Here's Coffey ahead to Lemieux. Lemieux coming across the line, but out of his reach. The puck taken away by Kelly Hrudey. Picked up now by the Kings. Pass up to center by Dale DeGray. Into the Penguin zone. Broken up by Gord Denis. Wide open play right here. Cullen across the King line. Duchesne takes him out of the play. Duchesne clears into center, but is chased back by Gord Dineen into the Penguin zone. 2-2 the score, second period. 14:53 to go in the period. Penguins with it. Here's Paul Coffey into the King zone. Coffey in the slot. Back checking is Nicholls to tip it away. He gets it over to Crossman. Crossman comes to center. Crossman for the Kings. Into the Penguin zone. Left side. Crossman with it. Still in deep. Drives it high off the glass. Right side. Kings will try to hold it in. John Tonelli there. Tonelli sends it down in deep in the corner. Broken up by the Penguins. Coffey's pass off the boards. Penguins with it. Here's John Cullen. Cullen. Left side, King zone, he shoots and it's over the net off the glass. Picked up by the Kings, John Tonelli. Kings come back to center, moving left to right. Tonelli to Dale DeGray. DeGray with a move at center, but can't go any further. It's tipped away by Cullen. Cullen whacks DeGray with a stick.
That's twice in the game Cullen has used his stick to slash at someone, and he's gotten away with it on both times.
Now in the Penguin zone, Dineen checked behind the net. Kings, John Tonelli centers it, broken up. Penguins have a 3-on-2. Here's Cullen to center. Cullen to Hannon. Hannon across the line. Offside. Penguins at the King line. 2-2 the score. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings on Pittsburgh with a score tied 2-2. The faceoff comes back in the Penguin zone. This game is coming to you live from the sold-out Great Western Forum.
Kings hockey is brought to you by Toyota. Quality right down the line. Who could ask for anything more?
It's not the numbers they put on the board, it's the intangible things they do. What Gretzky has done for the Kings could not be done by any other player. Those are the quotes and the comparison between who's the best, Gretzky or Lemieux. Herb Brooks is here tonight doing the telecast. Now across the line, the puck tipped away and back up to center. Picked up now on the right side by Waters. Waters across the line to Allison. Allison left side to Gretzky. In front of Krushelnyski. Knocked down in front. Penguins with it. Back they come. They turn it back up the ice. Here's Hannon. Right side to Lemieux. King zone. Lemieux gets bumped and knocked down. Never got the shot off. Now Hannon gives it to Lemieux. He's tied up by Laidlaw. Airy tied up by Waters. And the puck taken by the Kings as Krushelnyski brings it to center. Here's Krushelnyski across the line, gives it to Mike Allison, now to Gretzky, left side. Gretzky moving in, behind the net. Gretzky to Crossman, he shoots, save in front. Crossman shoots again, another save. Rebound, loose puck, Penguins come out with it. Up to Lemieux with the red line. Here's Mario Lemieux, game tied 2-2. Lemieux across the line, he gives it to Coffey. Coffey on the left side, Coffey, King zone, still with it. Coffey waiting, shooting, save, Kelly Hrudey. Backing into the net. Now behind the net, he gives it to Gretzky.
Coffey's going at it with one of the Kings in the near boards, and I think they've finally stopped play. DeGray and Coffey separated. Coffey let the shot go, and then he was tied up by Dale DeGray, and Coffey took exception. We'll be back. We're tied at 2. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. 139, 135, and 122. Paul Coffey, twice the Norris Trophy, league's outstanding defenseman in 85 and 86.
Holds NHL record, goals in a season by a defenseman, 48 and 85-86 with the Oilers. And, you know, they talk about his passes too, Nick. They say Paul Coffey passes harder than anyone in the league. He's broken skate blades, sticks, everything else. He's just got rocket passes, whereas by comparison, Wayne Gretzky's passes are really kind of the feathered type that are so easy to handle. Face-off outside the blue line of the Penguins. Both teams a man shy right now. And the Penguins have it. Here's Paul Coffey at his own blue line. Game tied 2-2. Coffey tips it up to center to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux knocks it down. Lemieux gives it away to Gretzky. Right side with Nicholls. Gretzky to Nicholls alone. He shoots and a save by Barrasso. There was that feathered lead pass by Gretzky that sent Nicholls in all alone, looking for a club record 60 goals in a season, and Tom Barrasso turned him away.
Well, if Bernie gets the puck off the ice, he's got number 60, but Gretzky with a great play, just leading Nicholls ever so easily. Bernie all the time, Deeks, and just reaching back was Tom Barrasso. Stick along the ice. If Bernie gets it up another inch or so, he puts it in. Tom Barrasso with a big save. Bernie Nicholls has been the most dangerous forward for the Kings. He's got a goal. He also hit the post in that first period, and he's had a good chance here in the second.
Face-off, Nicholls out to take the draw in the Penguin zone, but Dave Hannon wins the face-off. 10:05 to go, second period. Another sellout crowd, the 20th of the year. Gretzky steals the puck, but then he tripped going for it in the corner, and the puck taken by Hillier for Pittsburgh. Up ahead to center to Hannon, right side to Lemieux. Lemieux back into Coffey behind the King net. Coffey up the middle, intercepted by Duchesne. Coffey tried to get it to Lemieux. Gretzky has an assist tonight. Lemieux has a goal and an assist. Here's Nicholls in the Penguin zone. He shoots from the right side, deflected by Paul Coffey. Coffey in deep. In 38 seconds, the Penguins are going to have a man advantage. The game is tied 2-2. Penguins with it. Up to center. Here's Lemieux, right wing. He's got Coffey down the middle. Broken up nicely by Duchesne. And the Kings moving up to center. Here's Gretzky with Nicholls 2-on-2. Gretzky stops. Gretzky left side. Duchesne shoots. Save Barrasso. And the Penguins move it back to center. Taken by Laidlaw. Boy, we're seeing some outstanding goaltending by Barrasso tonight. Here's Mario Lemieux for Pittsburgh, right wing. Lemieux, top of the right circle, curls back, gave it away, and tipped out to center by Nicholls, but he just couldn't control it for a breakaway. Penguins with it again. Salapsky across the line, in the slot. He shoots, save Kelly Hrudey, covers up on the rebound. 8:54 to go, second period. Game tied at 2. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Starting tomorrow and continuing through Saturday, Prime Ticket presents the Big West Men's Basketball Tournament. Wednesday's live coverage begins at 7 p.m. Prime Ticket, sports television at its best.
Again, things opening up. Both clubs getting some pretty good scoring opportunities. Gretzky and Nicholls with a 2-on-1. Gretzky stopping up, then flipping it across to the trailer. The third man in, Steve Duchesne, and Duchesne with a skate save by Barrasso.
Now they face off in the King zone. Game tied at 2. Ron Duguay tried to get it along the boards. Laidlaw is there. The puck comes loose. Here's Zalapsky trying to come down the middle. Dishes it off right side. Penguins with a shot from the right side is wide. Off the boards, but held in by Phil Bourque. Bourque drives it in. Tipped by Kevin Stevens. Saved by Kelly Hrudey. Duchesne feeds it left side to Taylor. Taylor back to Duchesne. Duchesne top of the slot. He shoots, deflected wide. Gretzky plays it off the boards. Gretzky on the right side, up the middle. Steve Duchesne. Left side to Dave Taylor. Taylor along the boards. Taylor checked there, drops it off to John Tonelli, but Gretzky takes it instead. Gretzky left side, goes behind the net. Gretzky right side. Gretzky in the corner. Penguin zone. Gretzky still with it, up the middle. Taken by Duchesne. Duchesne with 5 seconds to go on the power play. His pass in deep, tipped away. Mario Lemieux with it. Lemieux gets knocked down, but he gets it up ahead to Bob Airy. Penguins back at full strength. Airy across the line, sends it down in deep in the King zone. 2-2 the score. 5:13 to go, second period. Here come the Kings to center. Here's John Tonelli. Slaps it hard into the Penguin zone. Puck caroms around the boards over to Ron Duguay. Duguay bumped along the boards. Tonelli tips it into the corner, gets knocked down, gets up, gets it, had it tipped away. Penguins have it. Here's Quinn to Hannon. Hannon to the red line. He gave it away at the King blue line. Kings with it. Moved ahead by Laidlaw. His pass taken away at center. Penguins with it again. Troy Loney to Quinn. Quinn with Coffey. Quinn shoots. Saved by Kelly Hrudey. Quinn again. Quinn sends it behind the King net. Taken away by Ron Duguay. Duguay with a move. Comes up the right side. Duguay up the center ice to Jay Miller. Here's Miller. Jumps around the hip check. Miller with it again, but it's tipped off his stick. Taken by Quinn. Moves it ahead to Loney. Loney right side now. Here is Hillier dropping it back to Danny Quinn. Quinn dropped it along the boards for McElwain. McElwain behind the net to Quinn. King zone. Penguins with it. Quinn checked there. Puck is still behind the net. A battle for it there. McSorley flips it along the boards over to Jay Miller. Here's Jay Miller on the right wing side of the King zone. Now up to center. Chased by Waters, but taken instead of the red line by Robitaille. Right wing to McSorley. Penguin zone. McSorley, the former Penguin. He gets checked along the right wing boards. Puck is dug out along the boards by Robitaille. Here's Robitaille in deep to McSorley behind the Penguin net. McSorley left side. McSorley overskated, taken away by Jim Johnson. Johnson's pass along the boards, intercepted by Robitaille. Robitaille stopped along the boards in the Penguin zone though, as he still battles for it. It comes around over to Kevin Stevens. Here's Stevens up to center. Stevens 3-on-3 with the Penguins. Drops it on the right side. Then a return pass broken up by Robitaille, but he gave it away at the blue line. He made a little drop pass there, but it didn't clear the blue line and was held in by Cullen. But the Kings back to take it away. 3:30 to go, second period. Bob Miller with Nick Nixon. Game tied at 2. Here's Duchesne, Penguin zone. Duchesne, nice move. He shoots wide to the right side. Oh, did he make a great move, but he just shot it wide to the right. Steve Duchesne, what a move coming down the middle. Fake to the right, pulled it back to the left, and then got his shot too far to the right. If he had scored that, this place would be going crazy right now. Game tied at 2. Puck is in deep in the Kings zone. Kings moving left to right. Here they come to center, 3-on-3. Here's Nicholls, cuts behind Robitaille, gives it to Robitaille, left wing. Robitaille to Taylor, heading for the middle, but is broken up by Hannon. Penguins clear it to center as Callender sends it out. 2:51 to go, second period. Here's Dale DeGray in front of the Penguin bench. DeGray for the Kings. Sends it over to Robitaille. Deflected for the net. Scooped up by Barrasso. He clears it himself out to center ice. Comes toward Kelly Hrudey. He shovels it over to Crossman. Crossman reverses it over to Dale DeGray. DeGray moves it up the left side to Robitaille. Robitaille to the red line. Now across the Penguin line. Robitaille dropped it there. Here's Gretzky in the slot. His pass to the blue line. Held in by Waters. Waters. He battles for it there. Puck comes loose. Troy Loney moves it to center, but hustling back for the Kings is Duchesne at center ice. He gives it to Gretzky. Here's Gretzky. Ahead to Kruzhelnicki across the Penguin line, but he gets taken out of the play. Puck rolls across the blue line. Penguins with it out to center ice. On the right wing, here's Troy Loney. Dropped it back, and the Penguins go offside as Dave Hannon, the trailer on the play, brought it across the blue line.
Well, you mentioned Bob Tom Barrasso being acquired from Buffalo earlier. Wayne Gretzky joining the Kings. And we have another quote from Jerry Cheevers, former Boston goaltender. If measuring raw talent, Lemieux is better. But there's more that goes into making a player. Winning is the ultimate test, and Gretzky has done that. But Lemieux is definitely the more talented player. So Jerry Cheevers, who used to coach the Boston Bruins, a 10-goal for them.
To bring you up to date, Mario Lemieux has scored on a penalty shot here tonight, his 66th goal. He also added an assist. Wayne Gretzky has an assist tonight on the goal by Bernie Nicholls. The game is tied 2-2. We're in the second period. Late in the period, Kruzhelnicki to Allison to Gretzky, Penguin zone. Gretzky dropped it back to Waters. Waters sends it down in deep behind the net. Allison with it. Allison around in front. Backhand over to Gretzky. Didn't put it in. Gretzky comes around the right wing corner. Gretzky with it again. Peels back in the corner. Turns around. Still has it. Gretzky over to the left side to Allison, but tipped away by Callender. Now Callender and Allison battle for it along the boards. Over to help out for the Kings is Kruzhelnicki. Penguins are told to move it along the boards, and they do, and they move it out to center ice. Here's Lemieux. Here's Lemieux to the right side against Laidlaw. Lemieux cut off. He gives it to Coffey. Left side, Coffey moving in. Coffey way in the corner. Hrudey stayed with him. Up the middle, Airy shooting. Blocked in front. Kings trying to clear it, and they will. Up to center ice. Here is Allison. He stopped in front of the King bench. Less than a minute to go in the second period. Game tied 2-2. Here's Zarley Zalapski down the left side into the King zone. He gets knocked down. Puck is along the boards, and Ron Duguay in to try and dig it out. Now it comes free to Lemieux. Up the middle. Shot from there is blocked by Waters. The shot by Dineen. Here's Zalapski, throws it in front. Tipped away by Hrudey and then cleared by Laidlaw. And the Kings will be called for icing here as Phil Bourque goes back to tag up and touch it for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 33 seconds remain. Robbie Ftorek behind the King bench. This has been quite a game. It's tied 2-2 with 33 seconds left in the second period. Mario Lemieux goes back over to take a breather. He is so dangerous. He is so big and has that tremendous reach. 6'4", 210 pounds, 687 points in 357 career games. The knock on him, of course, was that he didn't work as hard as Gretzky. And then he went to the Canada Cup and he played with Gretzky. And he saw how hard Gretzky works. And I guess he said, well, if he's the greatest in the game and works that hard, I guess I can work harder too. And people said if he ever starts to really work hard, he's going to be awesome. And he's starting to do that, leading the league in scoring for the second straight year. Tied at 2 with 33 seconds left here in this second period. Face off in the King zone. Ron Duguay wins the draw from Dave McElwain of Pittsburgh. Here's Duchesne with it. He clears it out to center, taken away by Rod Buskus of Pittsburgh. He flips it high in the air, right back into the King zone. 20 seconds left to go in the second period. Dean Kennedy indicated for the Kings. Kennedy skates in the King zone, still with it down, gives it over to Duchesne. Duchesne cut off by Stevens, and Stevens took it away at the blue line, but it's cleared quickly to center by Tonelli. Now the Penguins with it again, but they go offside of the King blue line. 7 seconds left to go here in the second period. Phil Bourque out. He is not a relation to Ray Bourque of the Boston Bruins. Phil Bourque, 17 goals, 23 assists for 40 points. He was signed as a free agent in 1982, and he's out of Chelmsford, Massachusetts. He can play both back and defense and up forward, and he's done both here tonight. Now off the draw, the Kings with it. Duchesne clears it to center. Time will run out of the period, and that's it. That's the end of the second period here at the Great Western Forum. Tom Barrasso, the Pittsburgh goaltender, and Kelly Hrudey, the Kings, putting on quite a show at times. And of course, we have the battle between Lemieux and Gretzky, and the only goal of the second period was scored by the Kings, Luc Robitaille. 42nd of the year on a beautiful feed from Dave Taylor. Bernie Nicholls also with an assist. A power play goal came at 1:22. Taylor right side, Taylor in deep, sent it behind the net out of the reach of Gretzky, and back come the Penguins. Game tied 2-2, third period. Penguins at center ice, send it down into the King zone. Dan Quinn flips it in deep, then jumps on the back of Duchesne, who stepped in front of him. Penguins with it though. Troy Loney right side to Busquets. Busquets drives it back in deep and caroms off the boards out in front of the net, taken by the Kings' Dave Taylor. Taylor up ahead to Robitaille. Robitaille has a goal tonight. Here's Robitaille to Taylor across the line. Taylor gets knocked down by Jim Johnson. Penguins with it. Back comes Dave Hannon. Hannon on the right wing. Across the line with Loney. Hannon to Loney, but out of his reach in front. Comes over to Quinn. Quinn on the left side. Gives it to Troy Loney. It rolls through him and right toward the net. Taken by Kelly Hrudey. Gives it to Marty McSorley. Here's Marty McSorley. Moves up the right side. Game tied 2-2. Here's McSorley into the Penguin zone. McSorley had it tipped off his stick, and back comes Quinn. Quinn down the right side. DeGray is back. Quinn in the slot. DeGray knocks him down. Shot saved by Hrudey, and the shot by Callender, and a penalty coming up against the Kings. Tripping is the call as Dan Quinn got tripped. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. There, but Lemieux moves it to Coffey. Coffey with a shot knocked down in front by Laidlaw. Rebound to Lemieux. Lemieux to Quinn. Quinn left side, King zone. Game tied at 2. Penguins with a man advantage. Here is Lemieux into the left wing corner. Back to the blue line to Coffey. Right side to Zalapski. Zalapski, top of the right circle. He gives it down the right side to Dan Quinn. Quinn for the Penguins. Moves it across the ice to Coffey. Left side back to Quinn. Quinn shoots over the net. Rebound goes over now on the left side to Lemieux. Up the middle to Quinn. He shoots wide. Rebound off the boards. Left point. Coffey holds it in. Here's Coffey for the Penguins. Coffey with a shot. Glove saved by Hrudey, and he hangs on.
Tom Laidlaw taking exception to one of the Penguins hovering right in front. Rob Brown, number 44. They've got 44, 66, 33, and 77. We've got to get Dan Quinn a new uniform number. Rob Brown right in front. He told us in the interview he likes to go towards the front of the net, especially on the power play. He's about to become a 100-point scorer. And this is second season. Leads the NHL in shooting percentage, 33%. Had 212 points in one season at Kamloops, final year of juniors in 86, 87. And he started out his junior career as a defenseman.
Well, I guess the coaches saw something and moved him into the right position. 99 points on the year. Play underway again. Penguins with a minute to go on the power play. In deep is Coffey. He's got Brown in front. Pass comes out to Zalapski at the right point. Game is tied 2-2, third period. 14 minutes to go in the period. Here's Coffey behind the net, rolled it in front. Saved by Hrudey. Rebound up the middle, held in by Zalapski. Callender was right in front and got the shot, but Hrudey made the save. Here's Coffey. Pass down in deep to Brown. Brown over to Lemieux. Lemieux back to Brown behind the King net. Rob Brown around in front. Pass in front. Intercepted by Nicholls, and he clears it into the Penguin zone.
Callender trying to hit Brown in front, but Brown was tied up. And Callender actually passed up a good chance himself.
Now Rob Brown for the Penguins with 24 seconds to go on the power play. Into the King zone, in the slot. His pass broken up. Gretzky with it. Moves it to Nicholls. Here's Nicholls up the left wing. Nichols to center. Coffey getting back. Nichols moves to the right. Nichols still with it. Cut off. Moves it back to center. And it's tipped by Waters back to Laidlaw. 8 seconds to go in the power play for the Penguins, but the Kings have the puck. Here's Nichols again. Nichols in the King zone. He moves it off on the right side to Waters. Waters clears it into the Penguin zone, but the Kings are back at full strength. It would have been icing, but the goaltender Barrasso touched it. Now the puck comes out to center ice. Kings drive it right back in as Laidlaw fires it deep in the Penguin zone. Kings kill the penalty. Game still tied at 2. 12:54 to go. Third period. Friday night, Kings at Vancouver. Radio only. That used to be a television and radio game, but now it's radio only on Friday at Vancouver. Switch that one for a telecast of the game here on the 18th of March against Calgary. Puck is rolled to Quinn at the King line. Penguins with it. Quinn, left side, moves to left point. His shot wide to the right. Rebound off the boards. Held in on the right side now by Dineen. Flips it down in the corner. Kings battle for it there. And along the boards, Quinn comes in. Gets moved over to Tonelli. Tonelli with it, taken away by Dineen. Penguins with it. Here's Hannon to the left side now to Johnson. In front to Loney. Didn't get it behind the net. got 2 players down, and the net gets dislodged. Game tied 2-2, and we'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Tonight, last 7 games, they were 1 of 28.
Pittsburgh dangerous killing penalties. They have 18 shorthanded goals. They got a shorthanded goal tonight, but it was on the penalty shot by Lemieux. And now the Penguins move it all the way down into the Kings zone. Kings have Nicholls and Duchesne at the points. Nicholls with it now. Krushelnyski is up front with Allison and Gretzky. 10 minutes to go, 3rd period. Game tied 2-2. Here's Duchesne moving up to the red line. Slaps it off the left wing boards. It caroms around on the right side. Allison in the corner. Allison with it there into Krushelnyski. Back to Allison. Allison to Gretzky. Gretzky along the right wing boards. Allison in deep. Gretzky moves it up the middle to Duchesne. Back to Gretzky. Right circle. He shoots. Blocked and out to the left point. And Duchesne holds it in. He sends it down into Nicholls. Now to Allison. Now to Nicholls. Left wing side. Here is Nicholls. Nicholls in the Penguin zone. Moves to the blue line. Over to Duchesne. In deep to Gretzky, but out of his reach. Broken up by Zalapsky. Can't clear it. Held into the right point by Duchesne. Poked away from him. And back into the Kings zone. And Hrudey, the goaltender, out to play it. He gives it off to Duchesne on the right side. Here's Duchesne. Ahead to Nicholls. Nicholls to the Penguin line. Nicholls down the middle. Nicholls to Allison. Allison's pass up in the air. Knocked down. Loose puck. Who's got it? Penguins with it. Moving along the boards to Lemieux. And Lemieux tips it out to center. Steps around Duchesne. Here's Lemieux on the right side, using his body and his strength. Still has the puck. Backhander, and he hit the goal post. Do you believe that? He held off the Kings with his brute strength, and then with a backhander, hit the left goal post. Would have been a short-handed goal. Now at center ice, here is Robitaille to Taylor. Taylor sends it back on the right side to Robitaille. Penguin zone now to Gretzky. Gretzky up the middle to Crossman with a roll. Crossman shoots. Deflected wide. Rebound taken by Robitaille. Robitaille with 14 seconds on the power play to Crossman. Left side to Taylor. Here's Taylor to Crossman. Top of the slot back to Taylor. Taylor left side shoots. Deflected up into the crowd. 6 seconds to go in the King power play, but boy, I'll tell you, what a play by number 66, Mario Lemieux.
Well, he had his 11th shorthanded goal of the season when he scored in the penalty shot. Look at this move from the simulcast. Holding onto the puck, waiting. No one comes to him. He just keeps gliding closer and surprises Hrudey with a backhander that went off the outside of the left post. The big difference, Lemieux over Gretzky's size and strength. Ted Green, former Boston Bruin defenseman, said Gretzky is the best. If Lemieux wants to prove he is better, he'll have to do it year after year the way Gretzky has.
Face off in the Penguin zone. 6 seconds left to go. Since Lemieux joined the Penguins, they're 157, 188, and 41 ties. So he's bringing them back and going to get them into the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. Penguins are back at full strength. Tonelli, left wing, he shoots. It's blocked as Dineen got in front, but he couldn't clear it. Tonelli in deep. Tonelli left side behind the Penguin net. Tonelli to DeGray. Shooting save. Barrasso on his knees. Makes the glove save, and he made it look easy. 2-2 the score. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
There's a new winner every day.
Have it back in their own zone. Here's Randy Hilliard. Game tied 2-2. Hilliard to Bob Airy. Airy from center ice for the drive. Wide to the left. Rebound played by Hrudey. Hrudey for the Kings to Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski stops it. Moves it up to center. Tipped by Allison to Gretzky on the left side. Gretzky tipped it into Allison. Penguin zone. Allison pulled down. Puck is underneath Allison. Now Krushelnyski digs it out. He sends it off the boards right out in front of the net. Barrasso breaks it up. Moves it up to center. Here's Lemieux against Laidlaw. Laidlaw tries to stay with him. Lemieux scoops it in deep. Lemieux with it again behind the net. Laidlaw right on it. Lemieux around the right side. Laidlaw wraps him up. Puck is along the boards. Kings take it away. Move it up to center. Here is Gretzky. Gretzky with Krushelnyski and Allison, and the Kings go offside on the play.
Mike Allison preceded the play. He was neck and neck with Wayne Gretzky going along the left boards.
Let's pause for station identification. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, please stay with us for the Evian Player of the Game. Evian, natural spring water with the unique balance of minerals from the French Alps.
Both clubs playing it well here in the third period. They haven't been caught up ice for an outnumbered attack, which could be the one good scoring chance that decides the game. That time Brown was hustling back to prevent the 3-on-2.
Here's Dean Kennedy for the Kings into the Penguin zone to Taylor. Taylor wraps it around the boards on the left wing side, but the Penguins break it up. Move it up to center ice, taken away the red line by Duchesne. He backpedals to the King blue line. Duchesne left side, flips it ahead to the Penguin line, knocked down there, and a hand pass called against the Penguins as the puck was knocked down. Dave McElwain brought it to center. Kevin Stevens used to belong to the Kings. They sent him to Pittsburgh for Anders Hawkinson.
Yeah, King's 6th pick in '83. They traded him right before his freshman year at Boston College off the Olympic team last year. Great size on right wing, 6'3", 220 pounds. Spent 4 years at Boston College.
Now the face-off just inside the Penguin line. Nicholls wins the draw to Duchesne. 6 minutes to go, third period. Game tied 2-2. Puck comes over to Luc Robitaille. Left wing side, Penguin zone. Drops it into Dave Taylor. Taylor overskated there, or was poked away from him. Now Taylor gives it to Nicholls. Nicholls around in front. A pass to Robitaille, knocked down. And Stevens got knocked down, and then a check by Taylor knocks down Buskus. And the Penguins, though, come out with a puck on the right wing into the King zone. Stevens offside, Penguins at the King blue line. 5:38 to go, third period. Game tied 2-2. As Kelly Hrudey does some housekeeping there in front of the King net. Penguins came to the King line, and across the line was a pass off on the left wing, and the Penguin player over the left side across the line before the puck, so he's offside, and the face-off will be just outside the King blue line. Coming up right after the game on Prime Ticket tonight, don't forget our 30-minute face-off show, an interview with former King captain Dave Lewis. Of course, he recounts that great come-from-behind win over the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs when Kings were down 5-0 in 1982. That's right after our play-by-play tonight on Prime Ticket. Puck is in the King zone. Here's John Tonelli in to get it. Sends it off on the right side to Crossman. Now up on the right to McSorley. And McSorley surprised Crossman by flipping it deeper in the King zone. Crossman gives it to McSorley. McSorley's pass up ahead to Casper. Now to Tonelli. Here's Tonelli. Right side, Penguin zone. Tonelli driving, dropped it back. McSorley with it on the right side. Stepping in front of him, though, behind the net is Gordonine. 2-2 the score. 4:57 to go, third period. Here's Quinn. Quinn's pass ahead to Zalapski. He tips it down in the King zone. He's in deep, checked into the boards by Crossman. Puck comes up the middle. Kings with it. McSorley to Dale DeGray. DeGray to center right, shoots it into the Penguin zone. Puck comes off the boards, and the Penguins play it. Back out to center ice. Here's Mario Lemieux. His pass over to Zalapski. Tipped away nicely by Waters. Here's Waters for the Kings. Right side. Waters, Penguin zone to Gretzky. Gretzky driving behind the net. Gretzky pass in front. Deflected by Lemieux. And then he plays it himself, but he gave it away to Gretzky. Gretzky left side. Over to the right side. Shot from there. Tipped in front. Waters couldn't get to it. The puck was loose. Waters tried to get to it, and by the time he got there, the Penguins had tipped it away. Here's Bob Airy for Pittsburgh. Right wing, King zone, into the slot. Airy gets knocked down, and the puck taken by Waters. Waters moves it ahead to Gretzky. Gretzky's pass stolen by Lemieux. Lemieux to the blue line. Taken away by Gretzky. Took it away from Lemieux. Here's Gretzky. Penguin zone. Gretzky in the slot. Gretzky to Kruzhelnyski, but it's tipped away. Penguins got back in a hurry. Now here's Gretzky in the corner. Puck is taken away, but knocked down by Kruzhelnyski. Tries to hold it in. Penguins dig it out. Back they come to center. Lemieux to Coffey. Off his stick, taken by the Kings. Mike Allison. Wouldn't that have been something, Nick? Gretzky steal it from Lemieux and score. Fans chanting, "Let's go Kings." Across the line, Kennedy shoots wide to the left side. He stepped across the line and shot it wide to the left. Here's Taylor. Taylor behind the Penguin net gets knocked down. Gretzky was there, but the Penguins take it away. 3:20 to go, third period. 2-2 the score. Puck is broken up at center ice by Duchesne and flipped into the King bench. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. Duchesne up the left side to Luc Robitaille. Here's Robitaille, slides it to Kennedy, back to Robitaille, left wing, tips it in the Penguin zone, but back to get it, Rod Buskus. Buskus to Troy Loney. Loney trying to clear it. It comes to Duchesne to the blue line, but it was a bouncer. Tried to hold it in, couldn't do it. Did get it over to Kennedy, though, and Kennedy drives it in and hit the referee, Bill McCrary. 2:48 to go, third period. 2-2 the score. Pass up to the blue line to Troy Loney. Tipped by Robitaille. Robitaille with it at center. It rolls away from him. Penguins with it. Here's Dave Hannon back in his own zone. Hannon gets it over on the left side now to Jimmy Johnson. Johnson's pass to center. Knocked down by Kennedy, but played by the Penguins. Here's Rob Brown. Brown flips it toward the net. Steered away by the stick of Kelly Hrudey and taken by Ron Duguay. Duguay gets it to Waters. Waters in front of the King bench. Slides it down the left side. Duguay into the Penguin zone with Nicholls. Duguay down the left side. Gets it to Nicholls. Nicholls in the corner. Stop there. The puck comes around the boards and out of the reach of Lemieux out to center ice. 2:10 to go, third period. Puck comes over in front of the King bench to Waters. Game tied 2-2. Now Waters at the red line. Waters drives it into the Penguin zone. Puck comes around the right side to Robitaille. Robitaille lost it to Lemieux. He cleared to the center, taken away by Waters. Gretzky comes on the ice for the Kings. Waters flips it high in the air, in behind the Penguin net. 1:49 to go, third period. Puck comes over to Zalapsky of Pittsburgh. Zalapsky moves it to center Lemieux. Lemieux's pass in front of the King bench on the right side to Rob Brown. Now to Phil Bourque. Bourque stopped at center ice. Here's Krushelnyski over toward Gretzky, but just out of his reach. Krushelnyski will it again across the line. Krushelnyski to Gretzky. Gretzky left side, gives it to Waters. Waters in deep to Krushelnyski, tipped away by Barrasso. Krushelnyski with it again. Kings have it. Penguin zone. Here is Gretzky. Gretzky behind the net to Allison. He didn't get it. It comes over to Lemieux. Look out. Penguins come to center 3-on-3. Lemieux to Zalapsky. Zalapsky across the line with Brown. Zalapsky right side. Shot. Save. Hrudey scoops it up and hangs on. And Allison bumps Lemieux in front of the net, and they have a few words. And now everybody else coming in. Weird that you have to come in and help out a guy who's 6'4", 220, but the Penguins jump to the aid of Lemieux. Now Kevin Stevens
a little pushing with Allison, and they're separated quickly. This is an officially copyrighted broadcast of the Los Angeles Kings Limited and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use of the accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Kings is prohibited. Now Laidlaw waltzing around with one of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And things seem to have calmed down right now. Zalapsky wristing that puck from the right wing boards. It was on net. Hrudey made the save, but Zalapsky's intention was to try and hit Lemieux in front, and that's when Lemieux was cleaned out. 1:11 left to play. Hrudey gloving it, holding on. Then Lemieux is kind of sandwiched between Allison and Laidlaw. Lemieux falls down. He's more upset with Mike Allison, and they go nose to nose for a brief moment.
1:11 to go, third period. Lemieux one shot in the last 14 minutes. Or the Penguins one shot in the last 14 minutes. Lemieux has a goal tonight on a penalty shot, short-handed goal on that penalty shot, and he also has one assist. And the Kings' Wayne Gretzky has an assist on the King first goal by Bernie Nicholls. 1:11 left, third period. 2-2 the score, and the face-off in the King zone to the left of Kelly Hrudey. Hrudey getting set. There's some debris back in the Penguin zone that they go back to pick up. Face-off to the left of Hrudey. Dave Hannon moves in for the Penguins. Mario Lemieux is on the right side along the boards. And on the draw with Casper, the puck comes to the right point. Hillier with a shot, saw all the way by Hrudey, and he scoops it up. Hrudey moved out in front of some traffic there, and he saw the puck, the shot from the blue line, so he scooped it up.
Kelly Hrudey in his 6th game since the trade, so he has started 6 of the 7 that the Kings have played since the deal. 22 saves tonight. Not a busy evening, but he'll take that. The Penguins went a stretch of 14 minutes here in the third period without a shot on goal, so the Kings doing what Jim Fox said they might do, play a patient game and wait for that one break. Hopefully they'll get that break in the next minute 4 seconds.
Now the draw in the King zone again. Here's Lemieux, top of the slot. Mario Lemieux backhands it. Hrudey knocks it away. 1 minute left to go, third period. Game tied 2-2. Kings within their own zone. McSorley drops it off, and then Crossman clears it to center to Tonelli, tipped away by Hannon to the King line, taken by Waters. Waters to Casper. Casper at center ice to McSorley, and he sweeps it to the Penguin line. Penguins have it again. 42 seconds left to go in regulation. 2-2 the score. Loose pocket center ice. Here is Mario Lemieux. Lemieux of Pittsburgh drives it into the Kings zone and caroms toward the net. Stopped by Hrudey. He covers it up, then moves it off to Tonelli. 30 seconds to go in regulation. Here's Tonelli up to center ice. Here's Tonelli to the red line. Here's Tonelli, Penguin line. Tonelli across the line, gets bumped in. Rob Brown moves it ahead now to Lemieux. Lemieux across the line. His pass deflected. Kings will have it in their own zone, but 15 seconds to go. 15 seconds left in regulation. Pass to center, knocked down by Mario Lemieux. 10 seconds left to go in regulation. Game tied 2-2. Here's Rob Brown for the Penguins. Brown from center ice with a drive, steered away by Hrudey and up into the crowd. 2 seconds left in regulation. 2-2 the score. Remember, if nobody scores in these 2 seconds, we'll have a short break and then into a 5-minute sudden death overtime. First team to score wins.
Rob Brown coming off, hunched over. I don't know if he aggravated that shoulder problem as he wound up with a big slap shot with time running out. He mentioned he came back after 3 weeks. They thought he'd be out 4 to 8 weeks with the separation. Gene Ubriaco now motioning for Barrasso to come off. So his feeling is if the Kings win the draw, there's no way they're going to shoot it down into the empty net in 2 seconds. So it looks like they'll pull the goaltender for the extra attacker here with 2 seconds left.
So an important face-off because you can score in 2 seconds. The net is wide open for the Penguins, but as Nick said, it's at the other end of the ice. Then tempers flare just as they were lining up for the face-off. Troy Loney was upset with somebody.
Of course, the Penguins will probably line up 3 abreast in the slot to create a diversion and prevent the defense and the forward from jumping out and getting one of the point men. Now Brown and Kennedy with some jabbing.
Now Allison trying to get in. Kennedy and Quinn still having words, and now Duguay and Brown in the corner. Brown down in the corner. As Nick said, he appeared shaken right after the last stoppage of play, and he had missed 9 games with a shoulder separation. Came back. This is only his 2nd game back. That's Rob Brown, number 44 of Pittsburgh. Everybody down in the corner where the Kings come on and off the ice with 2 seconds left in regulation. Game tied 2-2. They were lining up for the face-off, and then tempers flared. And there have been no real fights, just a lot of shoving and words exchanged. How many? I guess
6 Penguins. They pulled the goaltender.
So the Penguins have an extra man out there. There are 5 Kings. Kelly Hrudey, of course, is over in front of the King net because if he leaves the crease, he can get a 2-minute penalty for leaving the crease during an altercation. Everybody's still shoving around down here. Allison is one of the agitators with Phil Bourque.
Yeah, they've had something going all night long. I think it went back to the first period when Allison and Bourque got sticks up and nothing was called when the game was a little chippy and physical. Brown now skating around and kind of pokes at Dean Kennedy again. Gene Ubriaco watching, and Ryan Bozak now escorts Loney away from the pack. Loney and McSorley, Bob, as you mentioned, were getting set in the slot for the faceoff. And with the Penguins pulling the goaltender, there were going to be at least 3 Penguins in the slot, and McSorley, I think, wanted to make sure he was going to take care of one of them before the puck was dropped. Never got that far.
Troy Loney has gone over to the penalty box for the Penguins. Somebody will go for the Kings. Although the door is open over there. Mike Allison going into the penalty box for the Kings. So both teams are still going to be at full strength. Now wait a minute. Maybe Marty McSorley got one, and Phil Bourque. I think they did. McSorley of the Kings going in to the penalty box, and Phil Bourque of the Penguins has gone into their penalty box. All this with 2 seconds left in regulation and a face-off coming up in the King zone. The game is tied 2-2. The Penguins have Barrasso back in front of the net.
Because the face-off comes outside the attacking zone, so obviously the Kings picking up 60 feet.
Yeah,
their chances increase for getting it down there in 2 seconds.
Penalties are unsportsmanlike conduct. So we're going to head into sudden death overtime. Face-off is outside the blue line of the Kings. The game tied 2-2. There will just be a short break, and then teams right back out on the ice. Kings have 12 games left after tonight. 5 at home. Kings win the draw, and we're going to overtime. Regulation ends with the score tied 2-2.
So Kelly Hrudey comes off for the Kings. Barrasso was already off for the extra man. No scoring in that third period, and the Kings and the Pittsburgh Penguins, the two highest scoring teams in the NHL, shutting each other down rather effectively here this evening. Tom Barrasso, a strong second period. He was strong throughout, as was Kelly Hrudey, but Barrasso, I thought, really stood out.
Wins the draw. First team to score wins. If neither team scores in 5 minutes, the game ends tied. We're tied at 2. Kings send it into the Penguin zone. Puck is driven along the board, left side. Nichols knocked it down. Here's Taylor with it. Taylor in the Penguin zone to Nichols up the middle, intercepted by the long reach of Lemieux. Off on the right side to Rob Brown. Brown sends it to Coffey. 60-footer wide to the right side. From just outside the blue line. Now Lemieux, fan on the right side. Kings take it away. Here's Robitaille to center. Crisscrosses with Nichols. Robitaille, Penguin zone to Nichols. Nichols cutting in. Backhander hit the side of the net. Puck is taken by Rob Brown. Brown gets it around to Lemieux. Kings get back now. 2-2. Sudden death overtime. Here is Lemieux sending it over to Coffey at the left point. Coffey waits there, gets it around Brown. His shot deflected in front. Puck taken by the Kings. Laidlaw moves it up the left side, out of the reach of Nichols at center ice. Puck is taken now by the Penguins. Rob Brown in front of the King bench. Brown across the line. His pass broken up and sent back out to center, and somebody's hurt.
I think it's Brown. Yeah, he got clocked pretty good by Tim Waters as he cut to his left, and you think about that shoulder problem. He missed 9 games, has been back for 2, and Brown is in a lot of discomfort. And now the Penguins are having words with some of the Kings in front of the Kings bench, but Rob Brown is down and in a lot of pain as the Penguins trainer administers to him.
Penguins are upset. I think they thought that one of the Kings maybe took a cheap shot at him.
Well, Bernie Nicholls. I thought it was Waters, but it was Nicholls coming back to bump Brown as Brown had the puck and got really nailed with maybe the Penguins felt a right elbow on the left side of Rob Brown. Brown now just getting up onto his knees in a kneeling position.
Checking his mouth, and I don't know if he's cut or not. Checking the inside of his mouth. Rob Brown down on his knees. Bernie Nicholls really stepped into him with a solid check, and he blindsided him.
The trainer is looking over in the direction of Bill McCurry. I think he wants him to come over and see what happened to Brown. And now the referee is conferring with the linesman. And of course the linesman can't call it unless they feel it's a major penalty. Brown skates over and shows Mike Civic what's wrong with his mouth.
Civic is shaking his head yes.
Civic is saying yes, apparently. We'll have to wait and see. The Penguins going over to McCurry. McCurry's going to do something here. If it wasn't a penalty, why would he go over to the timekeepers area?
Bill McCrary, he has not said anything to the penalty timekeeper yet. Now Bozek, the linesman, comes over to Civic and says he wants to talk to you. So Mike Civic skates over to talk with the referee. Somebody threw a water bottle out, Nick, although it was after play, and I thought it was just the Penguins throwing the water bottle out to Rob Brown, who was injured. We have 3:58 to go in sudden death overtime. The game is tied 2-2. Pittsburgh penalty.
Well, is it that interesting?
Bench minor to the Pittsburgh Penguins at 1:02 of overtime. And I don't know whether it was for throwing that water bottle out or what. I saw that come out, but I thought time had stopped and they were tending to the injured player, Rob Brown.
Well, Mike Civic is explaining his call to Gene Ubriaco. You know, there was a commotion between the benches, and apparently Civic may have thought that maybe if it's the water bottle, it was thrown purposely at one of the Kings.
There's no other explanation right now except that it's a bench minor, and Troy Loney is standing in the penalty box for the Penguins. The Kings have a power play and a chance to win the game in sudden death overtime. The bench minor on the Penguins is at 1:02. There was a commotion, as we said, between the benches after Rob Brown had been hurt. A lot of players pushing. The Penguins were upset that Brown had been checked to the ice and injured. Brown is back up and over at the bench. He takes his helmet off, steps onto the bench. So a great chance for the Kings here with 3:58 to go in sudden death overtime. Kings have the power play. They've got Krujolniski, Gretzky, Tonelli up front with Crossman and Nicholls back. Mario Lemieux is on for the Penguins with Hannon, Hillier, and Jim Johnson. Face off right at the red line. Kings win the draw. Kings with a power play. If they score, they win it. Here is Nicholls sliding it off on the right side to Crossman, back to Nicholls at the red line. Nicholls slaps it into the Penguin zone. Puck caroms off the boards right to Hillier, and he clears it back into the Kings zone. Penguins got a good bounce that time. Kelly Hrudey gives it to Crossman. Here's Crossman in the Kings zone over to Nicholls. Nicholls back to Crossman. Kings moving right to left. Up on the right side now to Tonelli. Dropped it back at the red line to Gretzky. Gretzky over to Nicholls. Here's Nicholls at the left point. Penguin zone. Kings offside.
Yeah, Bernie Nicholls hesitated shooting it in. He wasn't sure if he should shoot it in or wait and maybe make a play inside the blue line, and that split second cost the Kings a little momentum. They got caught in the offsides.
31 seconds have gone by on the power play, and the Kings have been unable to get it into the Penguin zone to set it up. Robbie Patoric paces behind the King bench. We're in sudden death overtime. The game is tied 2-2. 3:27 left in overtime, and the Kings have a power play for another minute 29.
Please contact the press box. Jeff Shulman.
Face off just outside the Penguin line. Lemieux against Casper. Casper wins the draw. Back to Duchesne. Here's Duchesne back at the King line. Here's Duchesne to the red line. Shoots it into the Penguin zone. Puck caroms around the left side to Dave Taylor. Taylor along the boards, left wing side. Taylor gives it to Casper. Casper left side, moves it up the middle to Duchesne. Duchesne to Casper, out of his reach. Taylor into the corner. Taylor with it to Casper. In deep to Gretzky. Gretzky up the middle. Duchesne shoots, save, rebound. Gretzky had it tipped away. Here's Lemieux to center. Duchesne getting back. Gretzky chasing Lemieux. Here's Lemieux with Gretzky on him. Lemieux turns, spins away from Gretzky, goes behind the net. Lemieux to the right corner. The Penguins were changing up on the fly, and Lemieux had it poked away now by Gretzky. Kings with it. Here's Casper to Taylor. 45 seconds to go on the power play, right side. Robitaille with Casper. Penguin zone. Robitaille in deep in the corner, stopped there. Penguins can't clear it. Gretzky, right point, waits, moves in. Gretzky shoots, deflected into the corner. Kings with it again. Pass in front, Casper in front, shoots, knocked down. Casper to Taylor, right side. Taylor shoots, he scores! Taylor with a power play goal wins the game for the Kings with 2:23 left in sudden death overtime, and the crowd roars its approval as the Kings win it 3-2. Wayne Gretzky with an assist on it, and I think Casper with the other one. The puck came to Taylor on the right side. He flipped it to Casper, but it was bouncing. Casper got his stick on it. It came up the middle to Casper again, over to Taylor. Taylor stopped it, right circle. It jumped over his stick, but he got it again. He moved to his right. He looked, he shot from there, and he beat Barrasso into the far side for the winning goal. Taylor, right side, got it to Casper, but the puck was really bouncing, and Casper did well to get it back for the second time. Then he got it to Taylor, and as I mentioned, Taylor missed it the first time, but then got it again, moved to the right side, then had room. As Barrasso went down to his knees, the puck came into the left-hand corner. Taylor with a winning goal with 2:23 left to go in sudden death overtime. Kings win 3-2. We'll be right back. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. By Stefan